Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jumper, and today I'll be doing my top 5 favourite unique Easter eggs in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, the Easter eggs in this list is going to be some of the ones that are quite coolish, I think, and maybe people might not have known, or if you're new to the Smash Bros. Game or series, you might want to know more about some of the Easter eggs you might have missed throughout some of the stages in the game. So for number 5 is the 8-bit Mario stage, the one that has the end and the pipes and stuff. And there are actually kind of 2 Easter eggs in this stage. The first being the pipes. Now the pipes have obviously have the piranha plants sticking out of them, but if you defeat them or wait until they come back down, you can go into them, and you can either appear on one side of the stage or the other side, or in the middle. And the middle one is the one that makes you fall down into off screen and lose a point or a life or whatever. But the second Easter egg is the theme song in whatever one you get. So if you get something like the traditional Mario theme or the underwater theme, if someone is on their last life, or the time is about to run out or is 30 seconds left, the theme will go faster, kind of like how it does in normal Mario games in the original or in the DS version. And I think that's really quite unique in how they do that. For number 4 is Bayonetta stage, which is the Falling Clock Tower stage, and the thing is that you may not notice this, but if you're playing it the first time, but it's the clock itself, and the clock, because the hands are pointing at the time that it is in real life. Because what I mean by this is that if, let's say, you're playing Smash Bros. At 5:30 or something in the afternoon, the time will say 5:30 in real time, and I think that's really quite cool, and how they use this small Easter egg, and people might not notice it's the first time they're playing on Bayonetta stage, and I think that's really quite cool and how they actually do it. So on my phone you can clearly see that it's about 4:10, but it also says that on the clock on Bayonetta's stage as well. So I think that's really quite cool, and how they do this stage in particular, of how they use time and stuff, as well as the stage in general. I think that's a pretty good Easter egg, so yeah. For number 3 is Link from Spirit Tracks. And what I mean by this is that in the Spirit Track stage, you'll be on the Spirit Train, and you can basically see at the front the people driving it, either Link or Alfonso. Now, we can only get Link driving the train if you're playing any character that isn't Link. But if you're playing as any of normal Link, Toon Link, or Young Link, you'll get Alfonso instead driving the train. I think that's really cool because of how they use, like, you know, two people who know about trains and how they drive them, and basically how you can like see them swapped around when one person is fighting or not or whatever. And I think that's quite cool. For number 2 is Snake's Codex and Palutena's Guidance from the Solid Snake stage and Palutena's Temple stage. And what they are basically both Solid Snake and Pit basically talking to some of their friends and basically talking about how to deal with certain characters and stuff like that. But I think Palutena's Guidance is slightly better than Snake Codex because with Palutena's Guidance you can basically talk to every single character in the game, and they basically have different unique different like things and how to deal with like different people. But with the DLC fighters, they basically have the same thing, which basically they must have come from another dimension or something like that. But with the Snake Codex, you can only talk to like a couple of people, or like basically have the Codex with a couple of people and stuff like that. And I do like it how not only can you talk with some of the people in that specific game. So for Snake, it's basically one of the commanding officers, Mei Ling. I think I'm saying that right. That's like one of the other characters, and this other guy I forgot the name of. While with Pit, you can also talk with Palutena, but also Viridi, and both Guidance Codex things. You can also have another character from another franchise pop up, a side character pop up like from a different game, and this clip will help me explain my point.
Snake, you know who that is?
You're kidding, right? It's Mario.
Mario made his first appearance in 1981, and since then, he's become a worldwide phenomenon. There's probably not a single person who doesn't know Mario. He's that famous.
Good thing I survived long enough to meet him on the field of battle.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, Snake. Now get out there and show him what you're made of. No regrets.
Got it.
I see you're fighting Lucas, Snake.
Lucas?
That boy has PSI powers, which he can use for different kinds of attacks. The poor little guy's had such a hard life. His mother was killed when he was young, and he was separated from his brother. After that, he faced all kinds of senseless hardships, and he slowly grew stronger.
Senseless hardships? Yeah, I had a lot of those too. The question is, how do you translate those hardships into a better future?
Well, I hope things turn out okay for him.
Snake, what is it?
Something about that hedgehog rubs me the wrong way.
Oh, you mean Sonic the Hedgehog? But everyone loves Sonic. He's a big star. Do you have any idea how excited people are that he's here in Brawl?
Yeah, I know. There's something about him I just don't like.
But why? You must have some kind of reason.
Nope. Just don't like him. This is Snake.
Copy, Snake. This is Slippy.
What? Who is this? What are you? Some kind of frog?
Easy there, buddy. Just thought I'd hop on the wireless and give you a holler. Don't get mad.
Hacked right into my channel, huh?
But I'm not here to mess nothing up. Don't worry. Just so you know, Falco uses a blaster and reflector that I designed, just like Fox does. But Falco will kick his reflector and send it flying around. Just showing off if you ask me.
No reason a weapon can't have more than one use. In fact, I'd say its versatility shows how well you designed it.
Hey, maybe so. I feel all fuzzy now. Thanks, Snake.
Maybe next time we meet, you can design me a weapon.
You know who this guy is, don't you, Pit?
Of course I do! It's Mario!
He was your first ally in the fight against the Subspace Army. What you may not know is that he's actually quite famous. There aren't many people who don't know who Mario is.
Man, I don't know whether to fight him or ask for his autograph.
Fight first, fanboy later.
Oh, do you think he'll sign my wings? Huh. Can't put my finger on it, but Link seems different somehow.
Well, this Link is technically a different person from the Link you fought before. This incarnation is known as the Hero of the Wild. He was once Hyrule's champion, but he fell into a 100-year slumber after using all his strength to fight the Calamity.
100 years might not be a long time to a goddess like you, Lady Palutena, but that's more than enough time for an entire world to change.
You're right, Pit. When Link woke from the slumber of restoration, not only was his world unrecognizable, he also lost his memory.
I can't even imagine what that would be like. Lady Palutena, isn't there something the gods can do to help him restore his memory?
Meddling in the affairs of another world is never a good idea. Although I do like Link, and his swordsmanship is quite impressive. The Master Sword, also known as the sword that seals the darkness, reveals its true strength in the presence of the Calamity.
Oh, cool! Does that mean it's OP against Ganondorf?
No, Ganondorf is from a different game. You should really do more research before you jump into a fight. If you expect to win, you need to know your opponent's backstory and abilities. Link has a lot of different weapons at his disposal.
Is it just me, or has Link lost weight?
Yes and no. That's young Link. He's the child version of the Hero of Time.
The Hero of Time?
The Link who mastered the Ocarina of Time and faced Ganondorf. Link's actions as the Hero of Time created parallel worlds, and from there, many different legends were born.
I don't follow. What do you mean?
If you were defeated by Medusa, Palutena wouldn't be here today, right?
True, but what does that have to do with anything?
We may have triumphed over Medusa in this timeline, but in a different timeline, you lost that fight, leaving Medusa and Hades to rule the world. Every action and inaction creates infinite parallel worlds. You're only in one of them.
Wait, I'm not the only me? And nothing I do matters because another me will do the opposite? Then what's the point of doing anything?
Breathe, Pit. Focus on young Link's short reach. He may be fast, but try to outrange him and anticipate his movements.
Who's this guy with the chain whip?
That would be Richter Belmont.
Pardon the interruption.
Ah, don't sneak up on us like that!
Ah, Alucard. Hello. Pit, meet Alucard. He's the son of Count Dracula.
Dracula's your dad? That's so cool! Hey, do you have fangs? Are they sharp?
Pit, that's pretty personal. Do you really want to bring up blood-sucking things?
What are you... Oh no. You're not here to suck my blood, are you? I need it!
No, I don't like the taste. And my mother taught me not to cause suffering. My father chose another path, and so I've sworn to stop him. Richter here is the descendant of a man who shared my burden. He has a strong sense of justice and is an honest man, but that in turn makes him easy to manipulate. He was once cursed by the Dark Priest Shaft, who used him as a puppet to control Dracula's castle.
So, you're saying he's kind of, simple?
Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, Pit. I very much doubt that you could effectively run a castle.
In any case, Richter is a formidable opponent. Underestimating him would be your undoing.
Alucard, do you also intend to participate?
I am merely here to assist Richter, and anyone else who calls upon me.
And for number 1 is the Heart Piece and the Moon from the Great Bay Stage. Now, the Moon is a bit more noticeable because the Moon, you'll obviously see it, because basically every few minutes or so, the Moon will come down, get closer and closer to the screen or the Earth, and the 4 giants will basically hold it in place and just throw it back up into the sky. But the Heart Piece is a bit more difficult to find because in order to find the Heart Piece, you'll need to pause the game and go into camera controls and just go and turn the whole thing this way, to the left, and you'll see the Heart Piece. And fun fact, that Heart Piece is in the same location as in the original game and 3D remake of Majora's Mask, and I think that's really cool of how this game, or the stage in particular, goes down to the finer details of like how particular areas work, including the Great Bay section, and how it just gets everything right from the moon to the laboratory to even the heart piece itself. And I think that's really, really cool in how much details in the stage and stuff, and how it uses things and other stuff. So that's been my top 5 unique Easter eggs in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.